Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello and welcome to the Ticket Stub, your favorite place for movie news and reviews. We broadcast live every Thursday at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 from beautiful Conroe, Texas. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at _Ticket Stub and the Ticket Stub podcast. The Ticket Stub has a sponsorship with the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas. Visit irlonestar.com for information about the show, sponsorships, or you can give us a call, 936-647-3776. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review across all platforms and fulfill your civic duty by telling at least one friend about the show to grow the Stubbies. My name's Connor. I'm one of the hosts of the show, joined in studio as always by
I gave
Chris.
us 4 stars.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It really helps the show when our host gives us a...
Well, you got to dingle that carrot, man.
Dingle it.
Dingle it.
Dangle that carrot.
Dingle that berry, man. My name's Connor. I'm joined by Chris Appel. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well,
All right, and Dick Schisler.
Word up, bros.
Word to your mama.
You know, I realized I've been listening to a lot of our shows.
That's good.
And
Finally, you're listening.
I realized none of us have any social media, personal social media.
I've actually deleted all my social media. Well, Chris has a Twitter.
But we don't promote it. Like, no one says anything
active
about it. No one's like, oh, yeah, make sure to follow me.
Yeah,
on
look me up.
Twitter.
On Twitter. On the Twitter.
Hey, make sure to dingle me.
Dingle your berries on my Twitter.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, don't do that.
That's-
Chris, what are you, Clapple? At Clapple?
You could say it like that, yeah.
Didn't that lady, you did that one podcast interview with that like random comedian chick? Didn't she call you the Clapple or something?
Yes, she did. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
He's trying to forget that. You.
I forgot.
she
I was
did,
like,
yeah, she did.
what are you talking about?
remember where the audio was terrible and you couldn't really
Yes,
hear?
and there was the echoes. So.
Yeah. Well, we have
See,
a...
it's not just us.
Yeah.
It's not. But I remember you saying
we're not
at
the
the
only
time
ones.
when I told you, like, well, that guy must have a terrible sound engineer. So I remember you telling me that.
Oops. Hey, it happens, guys. Okay. It happens to the best of us. Well, I've deleted all my social media except for Twitter, and I've unfollowed everyone that's not sports related. So that's kind of my that's kind of my 2019 life I'm living. And you know what? I don't miss it. Every now and then people will be like, "Do you see on Instagram?" And I'm like, "No, I sure didn't." And you know what?
I
care.
don't mind using our stuff.
No,
But I don't
no.
I don't really like Twitter though, because I don't really like going through it. I'd rather watch a movie, dude.
I like it because you can talk to celebrities somewhat.
for sure.
And a lot of them do respond on there. So
Yeah, and it's been helpful for us on the show to
So
get
you
some
mean
guests.
all the losers who are celebrities?
Yeah. Well,
no.
But they have all the time in the world to respond to randos?
No, it's some of the people that I've liked during my childhood, and for some reason they're on Twitter, being older. I don't know why they would be, but I've been able to talk to
they're
some
not
of them.
working anymore. They have nothing else to do.
Well, I guess not.
Chris
but
has an eclectic
yeah,
fanhood.
so it's pretty neat to talk to them every now and then.
Well, our Twitter, I can alternate between my personal and the Ticket Stub on my app. And I don't like to stay on the Ticket Stub Twitter because Chris followed like 8,000 of the most random people you could ever imagine. And so the timeline feed is like,
Well, that's what I'm saying,
it's a grab bag.
It is.
Because I don't really understand why you would follow anyone but celebrities. Because, like, if I tweet, I don't really care what you're tweeting. Because I'll just call you if I want to talk to
How
you.
dare you? What if I had some good avocado
But we text
toast?
each other all the time.
Yeah, that's true. People think it's a place for people to try to quip, to try to be
Yes.
funny. I like it for sports because it's the quickest way to get sports news. Like you can be watching a game and
That's
say
true.
you're watching the Texans, for instance, and JJ Watt gets hurt. Within 30 seconds on Twitter, there will be like 1,000 things about what's going on.
I saw that movie Nerve, and I was like, when's this social media thing coming around?
God, that movie's so bad.
Because I would watch that. I would be on my phone, I'm like, yeah, these
Is
people are
that
gonna-
where they dare?
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's
dare
like-
online.
It's like if you don't do it, your family's getting murdered.
Wouldn't you watch that?
I
was
would.
like, let's
I
see what this
would.
guy does.
I would.
That's like a chat roulette. Did you ever do chat roulette?
Yes.
Well,
Did you go back in the day?
No, that's
yeah.
what I loved.
It was kind of a voyeur
Yeah.
opportunity.
Remember the end of that movie too, where it's like everyone shuts their phone off. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah, give me a break.
I'll start my own platform and I'll monetize it better than these people.
Yeah, give me a break. That was like the Illuminati was behind. Are you right? I mean,
Yeah.
no one knew. Anyways, we're actually a movie
No,
show
it
for
was-
everyone who's
No,
first
the
tuning
whole-
in.
You didn't get the message, and we're all in on it.
Oh,
That was the thing. Like everyone realized, oh, look what we've become.
we're the murderers.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's deep. Well, yeah, we are a movie show, actually. The Ticket Stub.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've heard. Yeah, so people tell me. Oh, we've got a good show today. We're going to do some movie news. And then we're going to do, normally we'll do a rewind where we each talk about a movie we've watched, or a group rewind where we've all watched one movie together. This week we're throwing a curveball. We're going to change the way we do group rewinds. And we're going to talk about that a little later on in the show. Dick has got a little grab bag. Yeah, can you hear it?
A sack.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. And those are all of our submissions. So we've each submitted 12 movies, and then we added 5 or how many?
6.
6 in theater now slips, which we'll explain a little bit later on. And we're going to start drawing month to month to see what it is. But we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. And later on the show, we're going to do our Oscar preview. We're going to talk about some of our reactions to the Oscar nominees that came out this last week. And we're also going to do our talk about our Oscar ballots, because the Golden Dude, like seriously, guys, I don't know if y'all know this, but at my house, it looks perfect. So I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm really excited to keep him there.
Well,
Whoever wins the most points in our Oscar ballot pick gets the Golden Dude.
I was thinking about this, and the dude needs to be purely for one contest,
Okay.
like the Oscars.
Yeah.
And then what we need to do is do like the Razzies and
Well,
get another statue.
Really, what we should have done is like do the SAG Awards, the Golden Globes.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep passing it around. Like you got one award per.
So we're gonna have like 10 awards.
Well, that's what I was saying. You do the Oscars and then you do the Razzies.
Well, why don't we have like a quarterly?
And the
contest,
Razzies, we can get a
quarterly
dingle.
something.
Get a poop emoji for the Razzies. Don't you
Yeah.
have one? Don't you have a poop emoji?
Yeah, actually, I do.
keychain?
Yeah.
Then we can pass that bad boy
I
around
have a
for
couple. I have
the-
a big one too.
the poopiest movie of the year.
You wouldn't give me that costume.
Yeah, that is sad. Chris,
Oh,
do you still
yeah.
have it?
I
Yeah, he does.
don't
He
think
doesn't
so.
tell
We
anybody.
might. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell anybody.
He wears it to some conventions and things like that.
No, no. We might though. I'm not
Well, if
sure.
you do, you should give it to Dick or wear it to one of the shows, please.
I should,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe our 100th episode. We were just talking about
Yeah.
this is episode 88. We're creeping up on 100.
No, you know what we should do? We should do it in your movie room.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can set that up.
Yeah.
Top of the house.
Yep. Or wherever it may be. We don't know.
Yep. Uh-huh. All right, let's talk about movie news. Chris is obviously not wanting us to talk about his house right now. We'll talk about movie news. The first one from Courtsy.com.
Oh, great website.
Again, I usually find these really good websites. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. It had a document or an article about 2 documentaries that came out almost simultaneously. One on Netflix and one on Hulu, and they were both about the Fire FYRE, the Fire Festival. No, Chris and Dick, do y'all remember this news story from like a year and a half ago or so about
Wasn't
the Fire
it
Festival?
something about where the guy tried to put it on and then he just defaulted on it, basically? Or?
Essentially, that's like a nice way of saying it.
Okay.
Is that he tried to put it on and he just defaulted.
He's like that one guy from high school who's going to have that ultimate high school party, and you get there and it's not going on.
so basically,
Very similar story.
So this guy named Billy teamed up with Ja Rule
Ah.
from former rap fame. And Ja Rule was, I think, in a pitch to be relevant again. They were going to throw this music festival. Really, what the documentaries end up talking about is how the festival was a way to promote their app, which was going to be for booking celebrity talent.
Which wasn't a bad idea.
Really not a terrible idea. In fact, I think Ja Rule is trying to do it under a different name now. The same idea, a different name. But like you bid. So like if Chris Appel was famous, I could go on the app and say like $25,000, and it would
Yeah.
send it to your. Sorry, for Chris Appel's appearance fee is $25,000. So I'd
It's
go on.
crapple.
Yeah, so the clapple, I'd say 25 grand, and then your manager or you or whoever would say like yes or no, and if you said yes, then you come to my bar mitzvah and we
Right.
party like it's 1999, right?
Mhm.
And so that was the idea, but they wanted this festival to get awareness, and a lot of it, some of it was about like social media influencers and what role do they play in society. I watched both of these in the same day, which was maybe too much Fire Festival to do in a row. A lot of the same footage. The article was talking about which one was the better documentary, like the
I watched both of them.
the Hulu. Oh, you have? What do you think? What did you like one of them better than the other?
Well, my favorite thing is one of them's produced by the social media company that was in charge of the Fire Festival.
Yeah, the Netflix one is produced by Jerry Media, or
F.
Jerry.
Jerry,
Yeah, it's a-
social influencer, whatever.
yeah, they have a media group.
So
and-
I found that really interesting because the other one basically says they're part of the problem.
yeah, the other one was calling them out,
Yeah,
and the Netflix one I watched first, very devoid of any anti-Jerry stuff.
Yeah.
and then the Hulu one had a fair amount. In fact, it had like the defected Jerry guy who was talking about how basically they were like a huge part of the problem.
Well, what's funny is watching both of them, you could definitely see that there were talented people working on them, but you can also see how a concept or an idea is told through 2 different lenses. Because the Hulu one had the exclusive interview with the guy
Billy,
who did it, with
yeah.
Billy. So they actually had like a full-on interview with Billy, but the Netflix didn't.
I heard
But-
they paid him like $250,000 to come do that interview.
Oh wow!
I mean, I like
Yeah.
dude, that dude wheels and deals, so it wouldn't surprise me. Like,
And his interview, like they paid him $250,000. What did he really say?
I
It was a
mean,
lot of like, I can't talk about that.
Well, I think-
I can't really talk about that.
I mean, I think it was just more of
having him on camera.
have it on camera.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
I think that was part of the weirdest part about the whole deal. Is like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Because he's hanging out with Ja Rule, top 10 supermodels in the world.
Well, to be honest with you,
And
probably hanging out with Ja Rule is not that difficult at this point. I would think.
Well, I'm saying like it's just kind of it was just that he was the reason I liked the documentaries because he was interesting himself, but he wasn't I don't know, he wasn't like the Gordon Gekko kind of character that you expect somebody like that to be, and
No,
he seems very calm.
Yeah, the whole time, his whole like the world is burning down around him, and he's talking. And they said like he was perfectly optimistic until like the last day, and then he finally kind of broke down. But he was like, "We're doing it. We got it. You can do it. Let's go. We're not going to say negative things. We're a yes group. We're not a no group." And like it was 2 days out, and they had like 5,000 people coming, and they had like 200 FEMA tents set up. And like that was like all they had. And they'd like sold all these luxury yurts or something like that. And they had like 200 FEMA tents, and that was about it. This thing is like, Chris, watch one of these because it's really, I think they're both really well made.
Well, I was saying, if you're into documentaries, it's cool to see two different teams work on something that they're trying to achieve the same deal, and they tell the same story. Besides the F. Jerry stuff,
The one thing I liked about the Netflix a little bit is it had a little bit more of like the perspective of the attendants, those who went.
Yeah.
You know, it followed several of those people a little bit closer, and just to hear them talk about like what they thought they were getting, what they did get, and then this Billy guy, he is he's just a scam artist. I mean, 100%.
He's a con artist.
Yeah, a total con artist. But it was just really, really interesting. Chris, I think you should pick one, whichever one.
Yeah, I love documentaries, so I should enjoy this.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people on speaking of social media, right? I've seen a lot of buzz about this floating around there. And Ja Rule, man, you can't. He said we're gonna. What's his big toast? We're gonna party like rock stars. We're gonna. He's like we're gonna, get it on like. Well, I shouldn't even say the rest of it. Yeah, never mind. I'm trying to censor it in my head, but
we get the idea.
yeah. Anyways, Fire Festival, totally ridiculous, pretty hilarious. A lot of it's good stuff. There's one scene where the gay man was talking about the things he was willing to do for the festival to keep it alive, and this con artist Billy got these guys to go all in, like he had them totally bought into what he was doing. So yeah, definitely check it out. All right, avclub.com had an article about Glass. So I've kind of cheated because the movie news is just about the movies that I've seen in the last week, so it's kind of my cheat rewind. But Glass is still doing well. Really, this is kind of an article about the box office, how things are doing as far as like some of the top movies. Glass has held its spot in the number one. The kid who would be king was supposed to be good, or they were hoping it would do better, I guess, than it did.
That's Andy Serkis's son in that movie.
Oh, is it really?
It is, yeah.
Little Serkis.
He's the lead kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Serkis his real last name? Because I always thought, for a long time, I thought it was like C-R-R-C-U-S.
It's Serkis.
Yeah, but like, I wonder if he did it because it sounds like Circus.
I doubt it. I don't know why you would do that.
I don't know. That'd be cool. Chris, the kid who is anybody buying tickets to the kid who would be king at the theater?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't really judge it because we're a little bit slower because we've got the recliner conversion going.
Yeah, so half the theater's shut down right now.
Yeah,
so you're kind of a little bit.
We're a little bit slower than we normally would be.
Do y'all have the upside right now?
We do, and that is going crazy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I still want to get to that, but I also want to see the Untouchables, which is like the original, or at
Is
least.
there like a crazy moment where he's trying to save Kevin Hart's life, but since he can't walk, he can't save him, and they're like, can't reach the button, and so he has to like
Well, he
chin
can't
crawl.
move his arms and legs at all.
Does he have the
so
chin crawl?
I don't know.
Kevin Hart's about to get shot, and so he has to drive his wheelchair in front of the bullet to, like, you know how people dive in front of the.
I don't believe that's in there.
I love how cringy
I
Chris
haven't
gets
seen
whenever
it.
we kind of cross the PC line. He gets very uncomfortable.
Well, that movie to me, it's just. I mean, I guess there's a lot of people who want to see movies like that. I guess, but it seems a little ridiculous.
Well, two pretty good actors in there. I think the actors sold it. You know, when the people come to watch it, they say, well, "I want to see the Kevin Hart movie." They don't say the name of the movie. So Kevin Hart's really driving that movie.
If it has a gay guy in it, he will not like it. So,
Who?
Kevin Hart.
Oh, yeah, because it was comedy from 15 years ago.
Oh boy.
Well, Glass is doing pretty well. They're acting like it might, catch up to
Well, I'm glad.
Unbreakable and maybe hit $100 million. I saw it. Me and Lindsay went and saw it with her mom, and it was definitely something. I mean, and I don't mean that like in a condescending way. I didn't like it as much as Split, but it was very interesting. It went a little bit more like it was interesting to hear him talk about like the lady who was like the psychologist was basically like trying to convince these guys they weren't superheroes and like they were in this insane asylum or whatever. And it was really interesting because they start to doubt like, did I really do all these things that I think I can do, or is this like all is this all in my head? Like, is this all because of some trauma? But dude, what's his name who plays Patricia? Not James McAvoy. Um, he's so good. Like you're watching him, he's flipping like personality to personality, like on screen, no cuts.
You know, a question I had was, in that movie, he's all like pretty jacked up,
Yeah.
and all ripped. But he hosted Saturday Night Live this past weekend, and he wasn't that way. He had his shirt off, and it was just like a normal guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Well,
me, but like maybe one of you guys.
He didn't have the clapple
yeah,
physique.
yeah. I mean, so I'm just curious if that was like fake.
I definitely think like because he got like real veiny when he would turn into like the beast or whatever, like these
Yeah.
like weird like superhuman, and that all stuff was and his even neck had like I was wondering he had this like crazy looking vein on his neck when he would get all intense. I wonder if that was CGI, but he looked like he wasn't huge, but I think they shot him in a way to make him seem bigger than he
Okay.
was because he's a smaller guy I think in general too.
He's very small, yeah.
Yeah, but but also it was probably a year ago or something when they filmed that, so a lot of time to do yoga. And,
See, that's a shame that if you work out a bunch, get all like ripped, that it doesn't stay. Apparently, you have to keep doing it. You can't just stop. That's ridiculous. I think once you make it to that point, it should just stay
just lock in
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, we'll probably never get there, but
No.
but here's the hoping. But anyways, it was good. I enjoyed. If you've seen Unbreakable and you've seen Split, just go ahead and do yourself the favor to see Glass, and I think it'll be a good way to round out. But what's kind of the craziest part was the kid from Unbreakable, the son. He's in this one, dude. He's a goofy looking guy. Like he was kind of goofy looking in Unbreakable. His eyes are like too close together or
Always
something.
nice to hear Connor talk about people and there are things they can't control.
Well, not everybody's hot like I am, so I'm
Did he
sorry.
chin crawl?
Yeah, he did a little chin crawl. But anyways, but he's in it. It was kind of interesting. I mean, it was cool that he's still, I guess he's not very famous, so he's probably pretty available. But they were able to get him in this. And they had some cool, I like the way that they shot some of like Bruce Willis's flashbacks, like the way that they would do the footage where it would be, they even shot modern stuff, but in scenes that the
Are you
original
doing a
one.
movie rewind right now without like letting us know?
Dude, I let everyone on, I told you I was cheating by doing a movie rewind. I said it on into this very microphone minutes ago.
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, I know you didn't, but yeah, I said it was a cheater movie rewind with the news. But anyways, so the article about the top 5 grossing and Glass is number
Well,
one.
do you think that's a good trilogy?
I think it's a very interesting. Yeah, I think it's good because it's so unique. Like it's not like great. Like each movie on their own, not like amazing movies. They're all good movies, and I think it's a really interesting like arc. And I really wonder if M. Night, and I'd be interested to hear if when he set out to make Unbreakable like a bunch of years ago, did he have any idea that he had these other movies in mind?
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. Right?
I bet what happened if I was guessing he did Unbreakable and he liked it, and then when he wanted to do Split as writing Split, he goes, "Oh hey, I know I can do something like really cool with this movie," and then had that. And then
Yeah,
did it.
like you think he was writing Split totally independently, and he thought, "Oh, we could tie this to the Unbreakable universe."
I think so, probably.
Yeah.
Probably so, but it works pretty well
Because
together.
I don't think anyone really wants to work with Bruce Willis. So he's like, should I do that? Do I have to do that? If I do
Screw
this,
you, Bruce.
they're gonna have to make me do it. So
Hey, Demi Moore doesn't want to work with him either, right?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You see the roast of Bruce Willis? That was pretty funny though. All right, last thing, Cosmopolitan, all of our favorite website, cosmopolitan.com, had a article that said 12 questions we have about Lindsay Lohan's new werewolf movie.
I'm already in.
I'm gonna.
I'm in.
gonna
I'm
let you
totally
know-
in. I will watch this.
So, folks who are listening, you can see the trailer. This is like what Steven Seagal does. Like he works in some foreign country, it's paid by some foreign country, and it's horrible. So why don't we talk about him instead of Lindsay Lohan? Because
Well, because he doesn't have a new werewolf movie coming out in March.
he has several. Vampire
Actually, he might.
movies. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't want to say Steven Seagal doesn't have a werewolf movie coming out because he very well might.
Is he's still a deputy in Louisiana, I believe.
Is that a true story?
Yes, sheriff's deputy. Yeah.
Volunteer or paid?
I don't know, but he was,
He's
he'd
Dwight Schrute
ride
of
around.
Louisiana.
Yeah, yeah.
Steven Seagal.
Can you imagine if you
What
like
if he
got
got pulled-
pulled over and it's Steven
Well-
Seagal? I mean, what are you gonna do at that point?
What's,
get roundhouse kicked?
I
what's
guess.
strange to me
Nah,
about
he just does that
this-
little wrist flip.
about this movie about the obsession with Lindsay Lohan. Like, I don't really know because clearly she's unable to get bona fide work in LA. So
Well, she
she's
had a
doing-
mental breakdown.
Well, I know that, but I meant like now she's doing like what I would say is equivalent to what Steven Seagal did. He went overseas and makes like 6 movies in the same country, and that's it. Because do you see her looking for an opportunity to bounce back? Like this movie does not look like a
Yes.
bounce back.
Well, she also has a TV show on Bravo
Yeah.
coming out called like Party at Lindsay's or something. I mean, is
is it a reality TV
It
show?
is.
Oh yeah, 100%. So like she lives in Mykonos, which I think is in Greece, probably. I think, right?
Mykonos, yeah.
Mykonos.
Uh-huh,
Oh,
yeah.
excuse me.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
His
Oh,
neighbors.
he lives in Mykonos, and
his
anyway.
neighbors Lila. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
You
also,
got Aspen. He's got Mykonos.
Oh, yeah.
also, this whole article calls her Lilo the whole time, which I didn't know was her like sweet
Well, that's what I'm
abbreviated
saying.
name. But she's got this new where it's basically like she's running this club, and it's all of the antics that all of her millennial employees get into or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think they're trying to do that. And so I do from time to time watch Bravo with Lindsay. So I've seen the previews for it. And then this movie's coming out. I think it's definitely she's trying to make a comeback. Maybe move back to America, eventually.
Got it.
Although maybe she likes
If you watch that trailer, you know what it is.
the Mykonos show.
No, the
Yeah, I love the tagline: "Our
Uh-huh.
world, their war."
yeah. Like if you
That
watch
is
that trailer and you see the actors in it, I'm telling you, it's a Steven Seagal kind of thing.
Oh, it's for sure not like a good real movie, but like she's got to kind of get back in, I guess. I mean, she's been out for a long time. And anyways,
You mean they're not gonna make Herbie Fully Loaded 3?
They might. I
she's
hope
fully
they
loaded,
do.
I think, at least at certain
Yeah,
times.
that's the thing. She wants to make a comeback. Stop smoking.
That's
stop
a good
drinking.
joke. Yeah.
You know,
Stop
you know,
smoking,
one of
stop drinking.
those millennial waitresses on the reality shows like, hey, you want to see a video of her doing coke?
Yeah.
Well, did you see, did we talk about it here where she was like chasing down those like Serbian like homeless people?
No,
and,
it was probably
Oh,
during
she
the
got
filming of this.
Punched in the face.
yeah, she got punched because she was like
Yeah.
harassing them.
It's probably while she was filming this movie.
Yeah, who knows? Like, and that's the other thing. is,
Yeah, I think you're right. I
like,
think
did they
you're right.
film this like I bet this was like a week-long shoot, and it was probably like 3 months ago.
That's
and
what
sure
I'm
it's-
trying to tell you. Like, watch the trailer, then watch other Steven Seagal movies. Like, 'cause if you don't know how the product, like that's
I
what.
love how, like you're so set on this being a Steven Seagal
Well,
movie.
I don't think you understand because you haven't seen. I'm a huge Steven Seagal
I mean, I've
movie
seen some
fan.
Steven Seagal movies.
No, but you haven't seen him like post 2009.
That is correct.
So
That is a fair
This
statement.
is essentially what they do. This rich person in another country wants to launder their money. This is like my theory on it.
Oh, okay.
So he wants to launder his money. So he creates a movie making company.
Yeah, it's like Argo.
And then basically they're going, hey, we need a big actor, but we don't want to pay him we're not paying him millions and millions, but we want to make this movie. And then
We'll pay Steesaw.
we'll
That's
pl-
Steven Seagal's nickname on
We'll
it.
play
Yeah.
Steven Seagal, $1.5 million, and then we'll throw in a bunch of nobodies from around the country,
From Mykonos.
and it will we're gonna have a horrible screenplay, and we're just gonna make it, and we're gonna make like 3 or 4 of them. That way we can launder our money.
Well, maybe like Argo, maybe there's like political prisoners that are in these countries and they like need a way to get them out, so they write these terrible scripts to free the slaves. What do you think
Maybe.
about that?
Well, because they were talking about, I was reading an article about certain areas of other countries that aren't big into films. So, for example, Russia's pretty big, and Russia loves Steven Seagal. Like
He's a very Russian seeming guy.
Well, no,
like
it's like
take
that's-
your shirt
that's why
off,
they're
be a
saying
man.
It's the strangest thing because you'll go to small villages and they just love Steven Seagal because they don't see, they don't go to the movies every weekend. But when they get a hold of these crappy movies, that's what's like distributed all over Russia because they made it in Russia and like, oh, check out these Russian-made Steven Seagal movies.
Poor Russians. They don't know there's such better movies out there to be
Yeah.
had.
But no, but that's what they do. A bigger scale would be the Meg.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were trying to say the Meg was they're trying to launder money, and
I love this money laundering theory.
well, I mean, it makes sense for the Steven Seagal stuff. Because
You've been on some deep Reddits, haven't you? Some deep dives of some Reddits.
I actually got Netflix DVD just to get these Steven Seagal movies because they wouldn't put them on streaming. Because it's like, go to his IMDb page.
Okay.
It'll blow your mind. Like he makes like 8 movies a year, and it's still. And I'm like, no one's ever gonna see these movies. How do I see these movies? And every one of them is so bad. My favorite movie I saw of his was he took 3 other movies. Whoever made it took 3 other movies and spliced them together, and then randomly filmed the connecting scenes with Steven Seagal.
Like
So-
3 other Steven Seagal movies?
No, just other movies.
That seems illegal.
So like, they might have bought rights to it, but like one scene they're having a chase in L.A., but it's like 1980s L.A. because all the cars are boxy and stuff, and then the next scene it's some dude scaling a building and stealing. He's in black, so you don't know his face, but it's supposed to be Steven Seagal. But then like, when he falls down and he gets first hit, they changed the camera. It's Steven Seagal for like the 2 seconds he's fighting some dude.
What a brilliant idea to take like classic cinema and then splice random scenes with Steven Seagal and try to make the plot coherent.
Yeah.
I like
But
that
I'm
idea.
telling you, man, like it's one of the weirdest parts of the movie making world is these movies, because they do it with other actors too. Nicolas Cage has been in a couple of them where they're produced locally in some foreign country. You don't ever hear about him here, but they release them there, and then I think it's money laundering. But I mean, maybe they just really like Steven Seagal and they just want to hang out with him.
Or maybe Lilo's just a generational talent. We need to respect her. You know, it's time for her to make her comeback.
Yeah.
Don't hole up in Mykonos, okay? Please, Lilo. I don't know. This movie looks terrible. I'm sure that it's not gonna. I'm sure her success is gonna be short lived. But I wish the best. The videos I've seen of her getting punched by Serbians was very sad. And I hope
You think
that
she was drunk?
she was on something, drunk on something. I don't know. But we're gonna go to break. Lilo, thoughts and prayers. We're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the group rewind movie list. We're gonna talk about how we're gonna draw those. And a little bit later on the show, we're going to do our Oscar preview and our Oscar ballots. So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.
The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas.
With 18 locations around the country, the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas bring you the latest in state-of-the-art projection and sound.
Including Fathom Events and Flashback Cinema.
Did you know your local Grand or Amstar Cinema serves a wide variety of adult beverages?
And some even have a full bar.
And moms, they didn't forget about you. They also have a large selection of wine to help you get through those kids' movies.
Visit your local Grand or Amstar Cinema today.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Is that all you got? Let's begin now.
And we're back on the Ticket Stub. Last segment,
The Killer.
we drew The Killer, not the band that sings Mr. Brightside, which was my ringtone in 2006.
Oh.
But the
Cool,
movie
cool.
with Chow Yun. Dude, I'm trying to bring a little flair
Now,
here.
let me tell you, there's one time I was listening to that song, Mr. Brightside. I was sitting there on a corner of Washington and Lee, and I was walking towards the theater, and then I actually wanted to see The Killer, but they had another movie playing, which was The Matrix, so I saw that instead. I made that all up.
Wow, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's really like continuity problems.
Yeah, there's continuity errors all over the place.
You know, like that.
Unlike the movie The Killer, I'm sure, which has probably
You could
none.
have said the original Batman.
If you want to watch The Killer, there is a version on YouTube for free that you cannot understand because of the English dubbing. And then there's another version with no dubbing and just straight Japanese and no subtitles. So if you speak Japanese, I'm guessing Chinese, that's probably offensive, but if you speak whatever language they're speaking in that movie, you will be able to understand it. Otherwise, Dick has a copy that you can borrow if you want to do that after we all watch it, because he just purchased it on Amazon. So thank you, Bezos, for that. We're going to do our Oscar preview and our Oscar ballot competition. So the nominees, if you haven't seen the Oscar nominees yet, then you're not a true movie fan. You need to stop everything right now and Google Oscar nominees and look through the list a little bit to see what of the movies of the year are being nominated for what. I'll say there's probably like 10 relevant categories in the Oscars. Is that fair to say? Like once they get down, in my opinion, when they start getting down to like sound mixing, I don't know. I mean, like,
Yeah, sound mixing. I'm
not
certain.
not 100% sure what that even means. Sound editing, I kind of understand that. I know one means at some point I understood the difference between the two. But you know, and then like, you know, a lot of the short films, I mean, they're cool, but most people don't really see them at the end of the day. Then some of the documentaries, a lot of people don't end up seeing those. Foreign language films, I don't know. Maybe we could call it 15 relevant categories that have like the big movies that we've all seen. But we have the list of we each have a list of the full nominees here. Was there anybody that seems like a big winner at this point? I know they haven't declared anybody winners yet, but when you're looking at all the movies that are nominated and all the people and everything like that, does anybody jump out and say, man, they're really like, good for them. They did a really good job just to get this many noms.
For me, well, as far as actors go, Sam Elliott getting nominated for actor in a supporting role, that's really cool. He's never been nominated before this. And, I mean, he's awesome, and I hope he wins, and he's my pick in that category for sure. He's not the front runner, according to the New York Times.
What do they know?
Yeah, the front runner is Mahershala Ali, who's fantastic on True Detective, the new season of True Detective.
I haven't watched it yet. Is it good?
He is very good in that, yes.
Okay.
Very good.
I definitely want to check that out. Carcosa, man. That was season 1. Chris, or Dick, I mean, what about you?
I mean, a lot of the movies that I saw, especially with the nominations, I didn't really see anything that was like, congratulations, you did a lot better than what you should have done.
It was
or
all pretty
something like
expected
that.
for
Like,
you.
yeah, I mean, you got A Star Is Born, which is a remake, and you knew that movie was going to do an Oscar kind of movie. And I mean, I think probably the most disappointing one I would say, and who I picked, was Christian Bale for Vice, because I feel like they're just going to give it to him because of what the movie's about.
Yeah.
And the controversy with it. And then also, it's not like he didn't do a good job,
No, definitely.
but it's just kind of like one of those things that didn't feel like he had a lot to compete with.
Well, he was my
that year.
pick in that category, but on New York Times, because it gives you the percentage, 49% of the people picked Rami Malek to win that.
Yeah,
and Christian Bale was only 20%, so we're in
Really?
the minority on that.
Well, we'll see. Because
Well,
I also picked Christian Bale.
Well, I
so-
think really probably the biggest thing that's going to happen at you don't know until the award ceremony starts is what is Bohemian Rhapsody really going to do
Yeah.
and in the awards, because they're nominated for a bunch of stuff.
Whole bunch.
But to me, it's like you can't compare that movie to, say, like a Vice, because the Vice to me is more of an Academy Award kind of movie. Bohemian Rhapsody is to me just a simple biopic that has some good songs in it.
Which I feel like was kind of cheating a little bit because they just piggybacked off one of the greatest bands of all time. And like several scenes in Bohemian Rhapsody were almost like concerts, like where they were just playing the Queen song, and people love Queen. So it's kind of like a crowd pleaser. Vice was on my list of the big winners just because it was up for so many different things. And to me, like, I think it was a very Oscar-ish kind of movie, but I didn't think it was going to hit like it did as far as the nominations go. I also think Black Panther, like, the big winner, good for them. Like, this movie came out in February or March, and a lot of times movies don't have that kind of holding power to still be relevant come Oscar time. That, a lot of times there's some recency bias there, where like whatever the last 10 big movies that came out will get the nominations, and so good for them. And then Spike Lee, he got nominated for Best Director. I have not seen Black Klansman yet, but I don't think he's been nominated before, has he?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm going to say no, unless anybody's going to argue with me. All right. Well, was there anything surprising about the nominations
Well, I think surprising was Bradley Cooper not getting nominated
for
Best Director.
For director? Yeah, definitely. I put that in my biggest snubs. Bradley
I'm
Cooper.
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We can step on that a little bit because everything about Star Is Born is the most wonderful thing I've ever seen. So I'm a big fan of that movie. But that may be exaggeration.
Did you
Dick,
see the video of him and Lady Gaga
at the
performing
concert?
at the concert?
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Mostly Lady Gaga singing.
Yes.
Very, very little Bradley Cooper.
Yes.
Which is probably a good ratio as far as.
That's a good song. That was actually the first time I heard it, believe it or not.
That movie, Chris, you
But
gotta
yeah,
see
it's
it.
funny
You
is
gotta see it.
I have her for winning.
For actress?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, the only reason I thought of that is because the other movies didn't have a lot of strong other representations.
Mhm.
Meaning, like, the wife wasn't really nominated for other things.
Well, see, that's my pick is Glenn Close because I think she's overdue. She's never won.
Did she win the Golden Globe?
She did.
Okay.
She did, yes. So that's my pick.
I picked Olivia Colman in The Favorite, and I don't know what New York Times would have to say about that, but I don't really care because I thought she was really good in that.
Not great odds, according to the New York Times. They're picking Lady Gaga.
Oh,
Now, I did this last week, so this is the 27th.
Oh, well, then that's
I'm sorry, I did this yesterday.
dude, fake
Not last
news,
week.
man.
I don't even know
Well,
what
yeah,
day
I
it
mean,
is.
because that's where I kind of throw my what is the Academy really going to do here? And I think she did a good job in the role,
Yeah.
and it was well received by most people compared to the other movie. Because the worst thing about these awards is some people don't even see these movies. Like I said, The Wife.
Yeah, they vote but don't.
To
see it.
me, like The Wife totally seems like one of those movies that no one saw, no one cared to see, and that's the way it is going to be. Because, I mean, I don't really know in the sense of you can't make sure they've seen all these movies.
Yeah. Well, Gaga was very good in A Star Is Born,
Gaga.
so I wish her the best.
Gaga.
Was there for me? What was surprising was just how little First Man is represented in this.
The movie sucked, dude.
It wasn't good, but still, like plenty of movies that suck have been up for many Oscars.
Like Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah.
Well, it has a 4% chance of winning production design. So.
First Man does.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. I hope I didn't pick that one. I fear that I did though. No, I picked it for sound mixing. First Man.
I picked Black Panther for that one.
For sound mixing?
For production design.
Well, it has First Man has a 3% chance for sound mixing.
What does Black Panther have?
For
Black
production.
Panther has 13%. I picked Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's 62%.
They're not in production.
That's going to be.
He's talking about sound mixing.
Okay.
Sound mixing.
Yeah, well, production design. I picked The Favorite. Is it The Favorite?
It is actually Black Panther they've picked. I picked Mary Poppins.
Is the
I
first one the favorite in every category?
I basically picked Black Panther in any non-acting role because they're just gonna Black Panther's gonna win something.
You might be right.
And what I love about this whole crap shoot of the Academy Awards is Black Panther isn't even nominated. What you would say is the no-brainer would be visual effects.
Yeah,
but it's not because the visual effects of the movie were horrible. So I that's one thing I love. Like that to me screams current culture outrage kind of thing.
I didn't pick Black Panther to win anything. Does that make me like a bad racist person?
No, but I don't think you're not playing the odds.
Well, I wasn't thinking
I'm
about
trying
it.
to win the dude.
Well,
I'm trying to win the dude.
I picked it.
Clearly, you're not.
Really,
Because
score.
I keep picking 3%. So
if
apparently,
there's one thing we know about the Oscars, they'll sell out for ratings. So they're gonna give Black Panther something.
yeah,
I picked original score of Black Panther.
I picked Black Klansman.
I actually picked Mary Poppins for original score.
What's the percent?
Black Panther's 43%. That's the top. Mary Poppins is 24%, and Black Klansman's 9%.
Man, I
Just
suck.
The last one. Well, not necessarily. You never know.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm surprised every year at the Oscars. Like I think I know exactly what's going to happen, and then it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty good at choosing this kind of stuff
You don't even see the movies. How are you good at choosing them?
because I feel like I kind of see what these idiots are gonna choose.
Yeah.
Because
Almost like
there's
you're better for not watching them.
Well, because it's kind of obvious, especially like I'm not kidding you, man. Black Panther was nominated for like what 6 things? Like why? It wasn't even nominated for visual effects. Like the one thing that you think they
Like
would
a superhero
do,
movie's usually nominated for visual
like,
effects.
but it's not. So I that to me just screams what I just said. Like it's like that what the current culture wants.
What'd y'all pick for visual effects,
Oh, I picked Avengers.
Chris?
I picked First Man.
I picked Ready Player One. What's the
Oh
odds?
wow,
Ready Player One's 12%. First Man's 14%, and you picked
Infinity
Avengers.
War.
and that is the front
Favorite.
runner. So.
Typically, those Avengers movies do really well on visual effects. Ready Player One looked good. Okay, say what you want. But,
Yeah, but Infinity War looked a lot better.
well, I guess I don't know. I mean, there's like Infinity War had all those scenes where like a million things were happening at once.
I didn't see it, but the whole movie, but the part where what's the bad guy's name?
Thanos.
Thor.
Yeah, he's holding that girl in that pose. Is like slowly pulling her apart.
Yeah,
That looked pretty good.
that was good.
Well, I mean, like, because I saw that movie being on the only time it's on the list, and they talked about doing the big budget movies, and so to me, they're going to give it to that movie as like, oh, good job.
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm the one who's seen them by far the most of these, and I think I usually do the worst at the picking contest. Maybe I'm too close, I'm
Well,
too
like
close
my
to it.
wild card that I chose was the supporting role for actress. I chose Regina King if Beale Street Could Talk.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why I kind of went with that, but I felt like
I thought she won the Golden Globe, which is why
I felt like
picked her.
She
the
did.
favorite would do split votes, so you won't get enough votes for one of them.
Yeah,
Because clearly not one of them had like the better role because they apparently both did well, if that makes sense. And I felt like Regina King, it's one of those. It's really she probably shouldn't win, but she got the third vote.
Yeah.
She beat the system.
Well, she's the front runner according to the failing New
Finally.
York Times.
Yeah,
At-
'cause
at
Failing.
32%.
the idiots at the failing.
Well,
they work for a newspaper still.
I want you to notice something. You realize most of my picks have been following.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if you
Yeah.
looked up the New York Times
might have
percentage.
cheated.
No,
might
I
have
just
cheated.
the one thing I always lose on these things are like the animated shorts because no one knows any of that kind of crap.
I just picked based off the name. I have no idea.
Yeah.
About any of those.
I went with Marina de Tavira for actress in a supporting role.
Well, that sounds like a mistake.
Not-
Roma's not
not
going to win
great odds.
anything.
I
Besides,
disagree.
It's going to win directing. I said it's going to win directing and also best foreign film.
I put it for cinematography. And I didn't pick it for directing. You think they're going to give it to
Oh, yeah.
Alfonso?
Yes, I picked him, and I also picked it for Best Picture.
No.
I did too.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not. That's so stupid.
Well, I think because, like, again, this is the odds game. What's going to happen is Bohemian Rhapsody.
You just said it's not going to win anything, and then you said you picked it for like 4 of the major categories.
Well, that's because it's a good movie.
But you said it's not going to like what you said. It's not going to win anything. Only directing, best.
Yeah, but I'm
best
talking.
picture.
I'm talking about the actors and actresses stuff. Like, it's not going to win that because there's
Okay.
people don't care about that stuff when it comes to foreign movies.
The actors and actresses.
Yeah, like it's very rare that they're going to win. If it's in a foreign language film, it's very rare for them to win a best supporting role or any type of acting role. It's happened before. I'm not saying it's never happened, but when you have something compared to what's available, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's an odds game. So, for example, best picture, what's going to happen is Black Panther and Bohemian Rhapsody are going to split the vote, and so they're going to neutralize each other in the vote because these are people who have no idea what they're doing or voting.
Honestly, I think Best Picture is a wide open race. Personally, I mean, you got the favorite. There was been talk of Green Book.
I mean, Green Book's probably going to last.
Roma's
If
down
Green
there.
Book, I mean, I'm sure I have not seen that one, but if that surges to win like a ton of Oscars, that seems maybe a little bit silly to me. I don't know. Like that's the best movie of the year that has come out.
Well, because what's the thing that the Oscars has to be afraid about is like if Bohemian Rhapsody wins, the credibility is going to go down a little bit for what the Oscars is. And so it's going to be kind of one of those things where you have Sally Field doing that famous speech. They think I'm a star. Now no one's really going to care anymore because if Bohemian Rhapsody can give you an Oscar, then where's the true talent? Where's the real awards for the real talent?
But when A Star Is Born wins Best Picture, then we'll all know that this is a very legitimate contest.
Oh yes.
What's their percent? What's Star Is Born?
Star is Born 16%.
How's that fall?
Not great.
Where's Roma?
Roma is 21%.
Yeah.
And the leader is Bohemian.
Yeah.
So dumb.
But I feel like that's what I'm saying. When you have those type of movies like Black Panther and Bohemian, they cancel out each other in the votes.
Here's the deal. My ballot's how it should be. The Oscars can happen however they want, but I've got what should happen. If it was a fair world where everybody was treated equally, then my ballot. Hey, what's documentary feature? Is Free Solo the winner? The favorite?
I did RBG just because that's political climate choice.
Yeah.
Documentary feature. RBG, yes, is the front runner.
Dang it. I'm sure that's good, but
And
Free
that's what
Solo.
I picked that.
What was Free Solo second?
It is.
Okay. Well, that's going to win. Just you heard it here first.
Is that Star Wars?
Free Solo? Yeah. That's his son. He named his son Free. No, it's a rock climbing movie, Chris.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
You
maybe
talked
should
about
check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's pretty awesome.
That was Star Wars.
Cool. All right. Well, let's. So, are we gonna watch a trailer or two?
Yeah, you want me to pull those up?
Yeah, Chris. I guess you can't see them.
Well, Chris can come over here and get
Oh,
on that mic.
Yeah,
How
I'm
about
I'm
that?
good. I'm good.
You don't want to watch them? We're gonna banter while the trailers play.
Okay, fine.
So
All right.
one thing that I also want to kind of predict is this is going to be a telling year for Netflix because there's either going to be a huge division on allowing Netflix to win things. So my prediction is Roma is either going to win nothing
Or lots.
or going to win lots of things.
Okay. So what are we watching Roma right now? Oh, that was a good lead-in. Okay.
Check.
So we got the
that out.
trailer for Roma. We're gonna hear this in the headphones.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. So are we
Yeah.
coming break? Welcome to the Ticket Stub.
Well, I gotta,
Man in the box. Get back in that box. Well, SNL. He's not hot. Chris is cold. His mic is
he
cold.
just said he wasn't gonna move.
Well, Chris, he's hot then he's cold, man. He's yes then he's no.
I like how he gave me a hard time about doing 6 different things at
Yeah,
one time.
dance monkey
Yeah, there's
dance.
nice- There's some nice music there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
When we say jump, you say how high. You don't talk back. Oh, get him on camera. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm all right.
All right,
right,
so we're all
so-
watching on Dick's screen. Is this going to be shown to the list, the watchers?
Yeah, they're seeing it right now with us.
And what film is this?
This is Roma.
Roma. Does it take place in Rome?
I think it's in Mexico. I don't know. I love art house movies.
Yeah, they're so good.
Good sound so far.
Alfonso Cuarón. Eating an egg. Who eats an egg in a little cup?
A lot of people do.
Really?
Yeah.
Lots of sound.
Yeah. This is a good. Yeah, this is a good. Was this up for like soundtrack or sound
I think you got
original score? No, it wasn't.
no.
Lots of people living in that house.
Like I picked this movie to win best original screenplay, foreign language film.
I'm gonna watch this. It's on Netflix. It's on my list. I've got like.
And like what I found interesting too, it wasn't even nominated for film editing. So I felt
Oh, a personal masterpiece. This is a jam, dude. I like this song.
Was this in White Chicks? is this a song they listen to?
White Chick.
Is this the Red Band trailer?
So this is one of my favorite things about trailers like this.
Good joke,
is
Chris.
they show you nothing.
Yeah, no idea what's happening.
And
What's
it's
the
just
plot?
like, oh hey, there's people running around.
There's some wolves or something.
Now, do you think they shot it in black and white, or they just shot it in color
Oh,
and
they
then
probably
turned it
they
black?
definitely did in digital.
Like color.
Oh, they shot digitally in color.
Yeah, and then
See,
went black and white.
that's not impressive then, because back in the day, it was you shot in black and white. It was much harder to
No,
write.
I
things like
see.
that.
The Academy Award lost all credibility for me is when Master and Commander or whatever movie got best cinematography, where like 40% of that movie is digital.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, guys, you can't give that award for best cinematography. You can't do that.
Roma.
See, Chris, one thing I wonder is when they shoot it in color and then go black and white, is the contrast better? Like than if you just filmed it straight black and white?
You don't think they heavily edited this
I don't
movie?
know.
Oh, they for sure did. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like the color
No, I'm
contrast.
talking about any movie today. You don't think they sit down and spend like
they-
a good portion of the budget to color correct
Oh, they color correct everything. What I'm
So-
saying is when you film it in color and then go to black and white, to me it seems like the colors are sharper than when you just film
Yeah.
in black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a film camera expert.
Well, because they literally adjust everything to look better.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
you think,
Roma.
you think real talent goes into these movies?
Roma. Okay, what else we got? Are we gonna switch right over to another one here? Hey, do another good lead-in, Dick. That was a really good lead-in to the last one.
So this movie, The Favorite, is one of those movies that they don't necessarily appeal to any type of parts of me that wants to see.
There's
And-
actually no part of me that wants to see this movie.
Well, it's one of those deals where it's like the folks over in the UK have to remind that people were British at one point.
Yeah.
And it's like, so we had to do this over the top because like one thing I wish I was a historian to watch these movies because like the outfits are so lavish, but they really like that. And then you do silly things like Amadeus came out. People love that movie, but it's like the most American version of what they think really what happened with Amadeus. And I'm talking about their language and all that kind of stuff. So when movies like The Favorite come out, I was like, I guess like the 16-year-old girl who's in theater likes these movies.
I think they make these movies just to win production design. Every year they have to have like one of these for the Oscars because they know it's going to win.
Well, The Favorite was directed by a UK person, basically, and this is the story they wanted to tell.
Wow. It's actually pretty good. I like The Favorite. And
It would be pretty funny if The Favorite won and they're like, and the winner is The Favorite. Well done.
it's like a who's on
The Favorite.
It's like a who's on first.
Yeah, who's on first?
Well, but what is The Favorite? Oh, it's the winner.
I would love to hear from the listeners, like what they think of this kind of movie, because like to me, this isn't I'm not their audience.
Yeah, you like
But
Steven Seagal Russian movies.
Who's The Favorite's audience? Do you think? You think it's art house people? Do you think it's?
I mean, I saw it, so I guess I am.
So why did
I'm
you
cultured.
see it?
I'm
why,
very cultured.
Why did you go see this movie?
I went and saw it for a couple reasons.
And did you see it when you had your movie pass?
No, this was post movie pass.
So you actually paid to go see this movie?
R.I.P. Yeah, I paid to go see it. Saw it at Market Street.
I
in
don't
the Woodlands.
remember the last time I saw a movie pass.
Well, because
At
you
the
can't.
theater.
It's because you can't actually use them to watch movies anymore.
Yes.
Because every time you open the app, there's no showings. But Lindsay wanted to see it. First of all, second of all, I knew it was going to be Oscar bait, and so I tried to see as many Oscar movies as possible, and it had pretty good reviews. So I thought, well, we'll go give it a chance. To be honest, I didn't fully know what it was about walking into it, and I knew Emma Stone. I mean, I knew some of the cast, and so I thought, well, whatever.
How'd she do with her accent?
Okay, yeah. Rachel Weisz is she's very good.
She's,
I
she's
like
a
her a
solid
lot.
actress.
Hey, Mummy, man.
Well, I'm
Tomb
just saying,
of the
like,
Dragon Emperor
that's-
or whatever.
That's probably my go-to leading female if I want to have do a movie. I need someone solid like every time. That's probably one of the
She's
three
good.
women I'd choose to be in my movie.
Live update. Chris is looking at the weather tracker right now on his phone.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, and I'm getting very nervous.
His convertibles. It's going to be a wet ride home as the rain rolls in.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's watch it. The Favorite.
Queen, you are mad. Giving me a palace. It is a monstrous extravagance. Mrs. Morley, we are at war. We won. Oh, it is not over. We must continue.
Look, British people having British conversations.
Oh, I did not know that. The Queen is an extraordinary person.
They were all staring,
Gosh,
weren't they?
she's, like,
I can
sick
tell
in this
even if I
movie.
can't
Is
see
this
and I heard
true?
the word fat, fat and ugly.
I don't know. Sure.
No one but me would dare, and I did not. She's been stalked by tragedy.
Everyone leaves me.
I'm telling you, like, the set and everything. It's so, like, they find these beautiful palaces to film these things at. Or just CGI, the green
I
screen behind it.
apologize for my appearance. I hoped I might be employed here by you. As something.
A monster for the children to play with, perhaps.
You know, Emma Stone got this role because Keira Knightley was not available.
You're so beautiful.
You think so?
No, probably, yeah.
Mock me. If I were a man, I would ravish you.
You have
There's a
become
little bit
close
of
to Abigail.
there's some girl on girl in this movie.
You're jealous.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, now you're interested.
Let's shoot something.
Dick's eyes just like perked up.
Sometimes it is hard to remember whether you have loaded the pellet or not.
Uh-oh. Maybe things aren't all
Critters
as they appear.
too.
On my side.
I like how they hunt dove. Like the Indian man has to throw it up into the air, and it's like they shoot real dove, not clay. That guy was good.
Nick Holt.
Is that his name?
Turns out I'm
Yeah.
capable of much unpleasantness.
Oh,
Did you just look at me? Look at me! How dare you! Close your eyes!
that's pretty funny.
I could not just stand by and let you destroy me.
A lot of crying. A lot of walking in long hallways full of paintings and stuff.
It's a good shot.
Yeah.
If you do not go, I
Oh,
will
the rich
stop
people
you.
like partying scenes are good.
And I will not stop.
My dear friend, how good to see you've returned from
Hell, I'm sure you shall pass through it one day.
Yeah, it looks really good.
What's that about now?
That's about the favorite with a U. I had a roommate in college that went to studied abroad in England for a semester, and when he came back, we were doing like he was writing something down, and he wrote color with a U. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" He's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm used to it because I lived in Europe."
All right, so the next movie is definitely
I'm peppering
something.
this with personal stories tonight.
This is definitely something that I knew Connor was gonna dig. People have seen.
Oh, bring it on,
and so
baby!
you know he has it in his car on repeat.
Dude, I've jammed the soundtrack
And
a lot.
when I saw they're remaking it and it was directed by Bradley Cooper, I can't imagine this guy trying to do anything different.
What does that even mean?
Like he has an opportunity to make a movie, and he chooses to remake a movie.
Everybody's remaking
and,
movies.
and
now.
everyone
It's not
applauds
Bradley's
him.
fault.
Everyone applauds him because he puts Lady Gaga in it. It's like, oh, it's her first time acting. I saw it.
It was either this or A-Team 2.
Yeah, and 18-2.
I actually want that. to
Yeah,
happen.
so
Do you? Of course.
so let me
I
ask
do.
you this, Connor and
Come
Chris.
on, ask me.
Who would you put in it besides Lady Gaga? Like, say Lady Gaga goes, no, Bradley, I do not want to be in your movie. Me too.
Oh, wow! It's gotten me too now.
Yeah,
Oh.
so that happened.
Bold claims.
So that happened. Who does Bradley go to? Britney Spears?
No,
Paula
I think,
Abdul, I think, would be a great.
there you go. Yeah, I think they would choose a well-known actress who is not well-known for singing but can do it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I know you could just see the inner workings of Bradley Cooper. Like, I'm gonna bring a different take.
But here's the deal. Okay,
Catherine McPhee.
not to get, yeah, I guess not to get too like oh wow, this is so artsy. But I think one of the cool things about the movie is that it mirrors Gaga's true life story in a lot of ways, which is like a girl who has a voice to say through her songs, but she gets sucked into the pop world, and then she's singing like, "Oh, you want my body? Oh, you want my body?" Right, which is
that
maybe
one of
not
her
exactly, may not be exactly one of the tracks on the show, but it's something like that.
In the background, they're like, "Oh, garbage pan."
She looks like a garbage pail kid. Yeah, something like that. But anyways, I think that's part of why her performance was so good, because it was relating to her true life. And so you find some other, you get what's the blonde hot girl who get made look ugly in that one movie about skating?
Oh, I, Tanya?
Yeah, what's her name?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Yes.
You put Margot Robbie in this, and it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm so unattractive. It's like, okay, Margot, we don't believe this. We're not buying it here. But Gaga, she channels.
Well, I just
some
I
demons.
find it funny that they were trying to present this idea that talent is more than just looks,
which
but
is
then-
so not true.
But then you go to like the mainstream music scene, completely opposite of what.
Except for
they're talking
Gaga,
about.
she's a musician. She's a little bit odd looking.
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood is pretty talented.
Yeah, she's very talented.
Well, who's the biggest pop star today?
I mean, you gotta be T Swift, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
she looks nothing like these people.
T Swift's pretty attractive.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's what he should have done.
Brought T Swift in.
Yeah, put some prosthetic on her so you know they're gonna get nominated for something. Like, oh, you should have endured that nose she had to wear.
They're always
she
like,
was
3 hours a day in the
ugly.
makeup chair. 3 hours a day.
Oh man, I remember when Charlize Theron was nominated for that movie. What was it?
Monster?
Monster. Like, oh, imagine being ugly.
Can you even imagine? And half the world's like, yeah, that's my everyday life.
Yeah.
But then I don't get to become Charlize
This
Theron.
is my
at
real
night.
nose, guys. It's jacked.
Can you imagine if I had a nasty nose like this? Let's watch it, dude.
All right.
Star is Born. Come on, give me some.
I just, you know, I'm just
We're
really.
missing important audio here. Let the old ways
So he
die.
didn't really sing though.
He did for sure.
Wasn't processed at all.
Oh no. Yeah, that video of him and Gaga, he like sings kind of the chorus a little bit.
Oh no, he's drinking. Typical.
Okay, don't be a hater. Okay, I'm gonna tear
I
up.
mean, the only redeeming factor of this movie is Sam Elliott's in it.
Sam Elliott's great.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he was nominated because he was a pretty minor character.
He's overdue.
It was a pity Oscar.
Dude, Dave Chappelle was
It's
good.
the first time I'm worried about you.
You can buy this on iTunes right now.
I mean, did you know singer-songwriters drink a lot? I didn't know that.
Oh. Tell me something,
Do you
girl.
write songs or anything?
I don't sing my own songs.
Why?
I just don't feel comfortable.
Why wouldn't you feel comfortable?
Almost
The whole
every
time
single
Bradley talks
person
like
has told
this.
me they liked the way I sounded, but that they didn't like the way I looked.
Oh wow, Dick. That's exactly what you're talking about.
So, what's funny about most singer-songwriters, especially
I'm
males,
taking a
their
look
best
at you.
music is when they're on the verge of suicide.
Oh gosh.
So, if he doesn't kill himself in this movie, no point of seeing it.
Okay.
Here's what we're gonna do. You come sing that song that I love.
No, I'm too scared. I'm too nervous.
This is definitely winning best song.
Oh
Yeah.
100%.
If you know, that's my lock of the year. Like, put some real like the betting websites will let you bet on stuff like this.
Because you have a gambling and drinking problem?
I do, correct.
Are
yeah.
you also a singer?
Wait till she hits this note right here, and it's it's where the whole movie
And
culminates.
she frogs it? Oh.
Get it, Gaga. You've earned it. And she truly does have an amazing voice.
I mean, the only thing this movie trailer doesn't have is him like waking up in a place he doesn't recognize.
Well, he kind of does at the end.
Oh, Kesha would have been a good one for this.
No, I like that. It was an Australian rapper.
Oh, Iggy.
Oh my gosh.
IGGY. Oh, Chris, you're weatherman over here. Yeah, it's raining, bud.
Oh,
I know.
I'm in so much trouble.
Yeah,
Man.
you're driving home in the underwater. IGGY. Just put,
You can go. We can close up the show, dude.
It's,
put, yeah,
it's a little late.
put a little Iggy on.
I'm already in.
Well, I mean, okay, so kind of wrapping it up with the.
Let's wrap it up. Do we have one more or are we done?
Well, you don't have to watch.
Okay,
it.
we don't
It's
have to.
Vice.
Screw it. Vice, yeah, whatever. Christian Bale, they hate
So
Republicans.
do you feel comfortable with your list now that we
no,
know
I feel
about,
terrible about my
the,
list.
the New York Times and
I actually feel really, really bad about my list. And I think I'm probably going to score 3 or 4 total points, probably. So, what do you think, Chris? Just rain?
I'm just rain. Yeah. I'm not really comfortable with any of my picks because I don't know. I think it could go any direction this year.
Okay.
really.
A lot of times it feels pretty set. By the time the Oscars come around, it feels like the winners have been kind of like, like when people are picking like the New York Times, the failed New York Times, like they have a pretty good handle on who's going to win.
So no,
Yeah.
one
Dick
thing-
likes that joke.
Well, one thing I want to ask Chris, because you're the theater guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
theater guy.
When they do the Oscars, do a lot of people do come out to see the movies that are re-released?
Yes. Some years we get like the nominees and you can watch the nominees. So a lot of people do that. But when you get the winners of stuff, which usually it's just best picture, usually is what we get. Yeah, they do. They do.
I
come
always
out to
wondered
check it
that
out.
because I mean I know there's like opportunities to see the movies that you missed, but are there like? And I guess it's just me being I'm not really into going to the theater as much as watching Roma on Netflix, that's why I chose it because it's gonna win everything because I want them to keep doing that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I saw when I looked at the list of the movies, none of them really are they gonna last 5 years?
Star is Born, Will.
You think so?
Count it. Count
Well,
it down.
I can see that because it has something completely different from other movies, which is a singer who actually acted well.
Yeah.
And maybe I missed another movie. I'm not really sure, but like none of the other movies made me go, "Oh man, this like changed the way an actress will do a movie."
I mean, Black Panther's going to last just
Yeah.
because it's an awesome action movie. that
Yeah,
people-
but that's saturated in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. No, I mean, fair, but I'm just...
Because I'm not kidding you. Go watch that movie. Watch the special effects. That subway scene at the end is so bad.
Yeah.
Like, it is probably one of the worst CGI movies. Like, that scene was one of the worst scenes I've ever seen. It looked like it was like on PlayStation 2. That's what it looked like.
You said episode of South Park about Black Panther?
No.
When they all see it and they have to talk about how it's like the greatest movie ever. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
I'm all over the place tonight.
Well, I mean, I'm not disappointed with like them trying these different kind of movies, but it's just kind of nothing really showed up this year, it seemed like.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, there's years where there's like really good movies for Oscars, and other years, exactly like you said, in 5 years, we're not even going to see it.
Yeah.
I know a guy who does like a culture podcast and sports and other stuff, but he says that the Oscars should be done 5 years later. Like 5 years afterwards, they should conduct, like in 2024, they should do the 2019 Oscars,
sure.
And then see like what stood the test of
Transformers
time.
would win like every year. But
Well, because so many, like, the artist wins or whatever, and it's just like,
no one saw that movie.
no one cares. No one saw it. No one's watched it since, And so why does that deserve to be the best movie of the year when there's other really good movies that could have been up against that didn't get nominated because they weren't as, a lot of it's timing, what comes out at the right moment or whatever else. And
Well, and that's why I was kind of disappointed that Avengers did get nominated for Best Picture, because that movie had a lot of elements that like are good in a movie. Like, you had some heartbreaking, you had
genocide,
you had genocide, you had a huge character development.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And so I was like,
even Thanos had like,
when I watched, I was like, hey, this is actually a good movie. You're not just getting Robert Downey Jr. doing his quick jokes every 10 minutes.
Yeah, Fortnite even had a whole Thanos thing going on in it for a while.
I think that I'm really disappointed that I didn't get nominated. But I know Best Picture now works off a ratio. Yeah, so you have to like reach a certain percentage. And of course, like Black Panther is going to divide a lot of these votes.
Yeah, probably so.
And I mean, rightfully so. I don't know. I don't really think so. And unfortunately, this year is kind of a blah. I'm not interested in seeing any of these.
This has been a weird movie year. Weird movie year in my opinion.
And like for example, Roma. Would you have seen it if it wasn't on Netflix? I think
maybe just because it was up for so many awards. If it was accessible in a theater, I probably would, but I may not be the norm.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up, guys. So we got our Oscar ballots. We're going to submit these bad boys, and then what day is even the Oscars on? February 24th. Oh, we got longer than I thought. So it's coming up at the end of the month.
And we're locking them in the Lone Star Studios vault.
Safest place in Conroe, man.
Yeah. Plus, it's raining outside, so we don't want to get them wet.
And the Golden Dude will be given out. If you want to take a picture of your Oscar ballot and send it to us, we'll bring you into the game. And you can't win the Golden Dude, but you could win some tickets to the Grand Theater. Oh, well, you stepped on my... I was segueing. If you send it to us, then you'd be entered in for an opportunity to win 2 tickets to the Grand Theater. We do it every week. We give them away. We give them away off air now because that seemed to be a more efficient way to do it. So if you tweet at us, email us at the Ticket Stub podcast at gmail.com or at the Ticket Stub or the Ticket Stub podcast on Facebook, or you can call the hotline at 936-647-3776. Your name will get on the list and we'll draw winners every week to give 2 tickets to the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas. Excited to do that. Thanks for listening. Please communicate with us on social media. Tell a friend. Grow Stub Nation. We want to do it. For Dick, for Chris, my name is Connor, and we're signing off on a rainy day here on the Ticket Stub.
The Ticket Stub is sponsored by the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas.
With 18 locations around the country, the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinemas bring you the latest in state-of-the-art projection and sound,
including Fathom Events and Flashback Cinema.
Did you know your local Grand or Amstar Cinema serves a wide variety of adult beverages?
And some even have a full bar.
And moms, they didn't forget about you. They also have a large selection of wine to help you get through those kids' movies.
Visit your local Grand or Amstar Cinema today.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, president of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
We're back on the Ticket Stub. If you missed this last segment, we talked about the Fire Festival, the documentaries. We talked about Glass still ruling the box office. We talked about Lilo. She's back.
Do you think the Fire Festival documentaries is kind of a new way that Netflix and Amazon and other streaming folks are going to try to create more buzz between them?
It worked. I didn't think about that, but that's a good point. If they both release the same thing, it kind of
like if they're at war.
Yeah.
Something like
Well,
that.
it's just more of like who's the better streaming company.
Well, it's almost like when one production company would have like a dragon movie, and then like 4 more dragon movies would come out. I wonder if it'll be something kind of like that. Like they're all going to get on.
Well, I think also too, it's for me, Netflix is completely missing on all their movies. Like every movie they release is like a 70% good, but then Amazon's pretty on the point.
Roma is up for like 15 Academy Awards.
I know, but that's like an anomaly of all their movies.
Okay.
Think about how many you know how many movies they probably released.
Well, but you're also, but like they're a shotgun, right? They're not a sniper trying to hit one target.
Oh, yeah.
They're throwing 1 million things out there and hoping that they all find an audience of however many. Dude, Bird Box, like 50 billion people watched Bird Box. It wasn't that amazing, but
That's what I'm saying. Like their movies are really well done, but it's like because their new one Polar came out, and I was reading that it's exactly what you expect. Like it's not that good, not that bad.
Well, Hulu has Canary Box coming out. I heard as a rival. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate the laugh.
It takes place in a mine.
Yeah,
yeah, good one.
Is somebody in a wheelchair?
The canary.
Oh, that's sweet. That's kind of cute.
The birds finally get revenge on Sandra Bullock.
All right, we're going to do our group rewind movie list, which is a very clunky title. But every month we do a group rewind together, which is always hard for me to say, group rewind. Maybe because I mumble.
How about a groupie?
A group wind?
Rewind orgy.
Oh, probably not. Okay. Rewind orgy.
We're all in this together, folks.
Oh, goodness. Group rewind movie list. So what we're going to do now, we always do a group rewind, but normally we just kind of talk and we just like pick, or Dick will throw out some random movie that we'll just watch instead. And he's had this great idea, which we're going to do, which is all 3 of us submitted 12 movies each that we have not seen. Now, there's a chance that some of us have seen each other's movies.
Yeah.
Because we can't really control that, but we haven't seen the movies we submitted. And then we put in 6 that were just called like...
Oh, I've seen some of the ones I submitted. I just wanted to put you all to the same horrors.
Okay, well, that was
wrong with it.
Okay, fine. Well, whatever. But then there's 6 called in theaters now.
Yeah.
And if that comes out, well, then we'll just pick like whatever the top movie in theaters at the time is. That way, some of them can at least be a little bit relevant. But let's talk for a few minutes about, let's each throw out like 3 movies. We'll let some of them be surprises, but each throw out like 3 movies that you put on your list and maybe why you wanted to put those. So I'll go first to give y'all a minute to pick your 3 or whatever. I put A Clockwork Orange in my list because I wanted some of mine to be like legit, like acclaimed movies that I just haven't seen.
Okay.
Kind of give me a reason to check them off the list, you know, some of the AFI or whatever. Never seen Clockwork Orange. Very interested in Stanley Kubrick. Don't want to say I love all of his movies because I think some of them are pretty strange, but be very interested in that.
Oh, so you're really looking forward to this one then?
Well, I know this is like the weirdest of all, but a movie podcast I listen to, it's the host's favorite movie ever. And so I want to see it. You know, I know what it's about generally, but I haven't ever watched it. Another one I put in was Cobra with Sly, which which is a movie where his name is Cabretti, which is like, I loved back when they used to do that, like with action movies where like their name had to be, you know, like some part of whatever the title was or whatever.
Had to have some cool gun.
Yeah, and I think does he always have a matchstick or something? Is that Cobra? Yeah. So I've never seen it. I know, again, I'm pretty familiar with it, but haven't seen it. And that's like the perfect like Connor action movie, like what originated Fast and Furious and all the Rock kind of movies. Now I feel like Cobra is like up that alley. And then another one I put on there was White Chicks, which is a comedy, which I think looked really stupid when it came out, in my opinion. But since then, I've had several people talk to me about how funny they thought that was.
People quote that movie a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know all I remember about White Chicks is there was that scene in the previews. And why this is in my brain, I don't know. But they're driving in the convertible, and it's black guys in whiteface, which I guess is not offensive, but that's okay. And they're driving down the road, and like some like really chick song comes on, I think, and they're like, oh, that's dumb, that's dumb, that's dumb. And then it cuts back, and they're like, and I need you, do 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 do, and they're jamming along to it or whatever, which I always thought was pretty funny. But haven't seen that movie either. So I tried to have a good range of my 12, like some serious, some not serious, some fun, some maybe bad, everything else. Chris, what you got?
Well, the first one was Critters from 1986. It's a horror movie. And the reason I picked that is because in 1986, my mom took me to see this movie, and I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And
a
because she
horror
thought
movie?
it was, she thought it was about, cute little critters or whatever. Now, all I remember is,
All right, Chris, I gotta ask you something. Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah,
Like I always thought that was like those are made up stories where like they went to go see Ted, and they brought
it is
all
not,
their kids.
It was not a made up story
so.
for me.
And I can't imagine because I know back like the earliest I can remember about movies is like the only time to find out movies either call the number and then like it read off the movie times.
Right.
So you think that's where it got? Like, how do you get that mixed up?
Most likely, it would have been in the newspaper.
So it was just kind of like, oh, there's a movie titled Critters.
Yes.
It must be a cute Critters movie.
And all I remember is
that movie's creepy too.
I
man.
remember the critters like killing somebody in a barn in the first scene, and then I remember my mom grabbing my hand and pulling me out of the seat and
going, and
we were leaving.
So you've never seen Critters?
I have not seen it because of that. Well, I don't know if I have. I don't think I have, but yeah, I just remember that moment. So,
Well, one of the movie posters says Siskel and Ebert both thumbs up. Can that be true, or is that like a joke poster?
I don't know.
Well, the director is a pretty big director, Stephen Herrick. I know that because he's like a random dude. He's done like Disney movies, and then he's done like
Bill and Ted.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's the one I really. remember.
Mr. Holland's Opus. Wow, that's.
I'm saying like I just remember him being all over the place.
All right, well, what else you got, Chris?
My second one is Garbage Pail Kids because I want you guys to suffer through that movie. Scarred me for life.
I've seen it.
So
one of the movie Pop Star with Andy Samberg, which if you're listening to this and you haven't seen Pop Star, just do yourself a favor and go watch it. But he's got the one song where he's talking about the Mona Lisa and how overrated that is as far as art goes, and like he's singing the song, and in the background you hear the voice going like, "She looks like a garbage pail kid." He's talking about how ugly the Mona
But that
Lisa
movie
is.
is very gross.
Okay,
So
seems very stupid. Is it stupid?
Yes.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
the third one is actually Meet the Feebles, which I've talked about on the show here. It is Peter Jackson, who directed the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's basically Muppets gone bad.
Do you realize that all three of your choices have like a Muppet or like an animatronic alien?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense. We know Chris is like
Yeah, I
that's
don't
those are
know.
like his favorite movies.
I like it.
I like that you didn't. Yeah, you didn't. I don't think you put that together. That the three
I
that you
didn't.
mentioned all
No.
have like some sort of a weird creature.
Yeah.
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 All
I
right.
relate to those better.
A weird creature.
I guess. I don't know.
Ever since my mom took me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris's nickname was Critter back in the day.
And I'm gonna hear about this because she's
Feeble.
gonna watch the show and she'll correct me on.
Does
this,
your mom
on
listen?
the story? She does. Yeah.
Oh, nice. When I went skydiving, one of the professional instructors that was strapped to the back of my friend, his name was Critter. Which nothing gives you more peace of mind than knowing that your life is in Critter's hands.
So you went skydiving?
Yeah.
What was that
You
like?
just pull stuff from all over the place, man.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, you know that movie Pop Star? There's this line that's in the background of another song.
Yeah, dude.
While he's sitting there talking about the Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa, you're an overrated
The only thing I remember about
piece of-
that movie was they're in a car and they're like, "Oh, this song's crap." and all of a
No,
sudden-
and I need you. I know, but I can't remember any conversation I've had in the last like 3 weeks about things I'm supposed to do.
I just remember seeing White Chicks, and I remember like 30 minutes into this movie, I was like, "When is this gonna be over?"
Oh, great. Well, sorry.
When is this gonna be over? Because Holly loves that movie. I'm
Skydiving
like,
pretty cool, huh?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, you need to go.
You liked? Were you
Yeah.
scared?
Well, Critter eased all my fears. So
Oh, he did.
no,
oh, yeah, what did
he wasn't
do?
strapped to my back. I
We
was.
all leathered up.
yeah, my Critter's actually my leather guy.
He does everything for
Yeah,
you.
call back to another show. I was not scared until they threw open the garage door on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize that you're about to jump out, and then I
Yeah.
got quite scared. But it happened
Yeah.
pretty fast, so I didn't have a lot. Like it was only like about
Well,
1 minute
the
of
thing-
time.
So
to
was
be-
it like your
weirds
stomach
me
goes
out.
up just like for the first little bit and then you're cool?
It's like 15 seconds of like and then after that you're like yeah. So it,
oh, cool.
What weirds me out though is like you have no control when you get to jump. Like, cause
Yeah.
technically, like, yeah, I'm ready, but then you actually have to wait for the guy to actually throw you out. And I just remember it was like, yeah, let's go. Like,
Oh, you
why,
did it too?
why are we? Yeah, like why
Well,
are we?
I will
waiting?
never do this. I'm just
Did
asking.
you have Critter?
I have Critter.
No.
But I'd like to do that by myself because that's the only thing I didn't like about it. Because it's like, yeah, let's just run and jump. Let's run. And
Yeah, let's
do
do like the movies.
it. And
Hey,
then-
speaking of jumping out of airplanes, and here's a random thought. Happy Death Day to You. Saw the trailer. The girl starts killing herself for some reason in the movie.
Mhm.
And one of the things, she just jumps out of a giant, like, what are those big, like, C-130s or whatever?
Mhm.
That seems like a bad way to, even if you know you're going to wake up as soon as it's over, like,
Yeah.
if you know you're not going to die, still seems kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
But And she was in a bikini, which seemed out of sorts, but I guess.
I think we got to see the movie and figure out why
we'll check
she's
it
in
out.
that situation.
Well, I haven't seen the first one, but the baby face masks are scary. Dick, what are your 3?
So I try to pick a random movies that have something that was special to that individual movie at that time.
Okay.
So for example, I chose a movie that I love Keanu Reeves, but I chose a movie he was in that most people have never seen, but he was
47 Ronin?
actually good in it.
What
In a
was it?
sense, like the movie
Oh,
was
yeah.
nominated and all that stuff. It's My Own Private Idaho, and that movie, I think River Phoenix it's like his last movie, maybe.
Oh man,
But
I've not seen that.
But yeah, it's Gus Van Sant directed it. It's a very serious movie, and so I had that in there. And then I also added another movie I never seen that I've always wanted to see is the Bridge Over River Kwai, because Alec Guinness is in it, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi from the original Star Wars. I wanted to see him in a movie. I've always wanted to see this movie, but I want to see another movie with him in without it being Obi-Wan, because I'm like, I didn't really understand why this guy's such a good actor, because everyone like he's when Star Wars came out, he's top billed. He's like, this
He's
guy's
a big deal.
Yeah, and I don't really know, but I'm gonna learn. And then of course I did a video game movie, Blood Rain.
Oh,
which is directed by U-Bowl.
The legendary U-Bowl.
Legendary U-Bowl. So I did that one, so I'm kind of excited about that. And another comic book that I've never actually seen, and gave me a great reason, is Dick Tracy. I've never seen Dick Tracy.
Are you doing 4 movies right now, Dick?
Well, I just wanted to throw that out.
Dick
I
Tracy,
didn't want to throw one comic book / like video game movie that's it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, what's a legitimate one I haven't seen? Because I've seen pretty much every time there's a comic book movie coming out, all the way from like Cool World, you know. And during that era, I was like, I've never seen Dick Tracy. Why haven't I ever seen Dick Tracy?
Hey, Glass is kind of a comic book movie. You need to check Glass out. There's
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm really excited about that one.
Definitely comic book references. Hey, do you remember those videos?
Uh-oh.
I'm on a roll tonight.
Here we
You remember
go.
those YouTube videos from a long time ago called Unforgivable, where it was just that one guy in the woods like talking and he was like cursing a lot and stuff? Yeah. That was the first awareness for me of Bridge Over the River Kwai, because he was talking about like he walked in and goes, "You want to watch a movie?" And I was like, "What you watching?" Bridge Over the River Kwai. So I've never seen it. So anyways, if you haven't seen Unforgivable, very inappropriate. So be careful.
That.
Yeah, but anyways, Bridge Over the River Kwai. Never seen it though. I know about it from Unforgivable, but that's about the only context I have. Cool. Well, okay. So of the movies we mentioned, which is the one of the others that you're excited to see? Like that someone else mentioned that you want to watch?
Blood Rain. I've never seen that.
Blood Rain. Blood Rain.
Oh yeah.
Is that the theme?
That's
I mean,
Purple Rain.
a lot of
my bad.
a lot of Chris's choices are totally Chris. So I'm really excited because I haven't seen a lot of them. So I feel like by watching
None of
those,
them.
I get to know more about Chris.
I want to watch Critters. Yeah, I'm all in on Critters. Especially, I want to know what Mrs. Appel was so terrified of. Well, how old did you say you were though?
I was 6 years old. I think.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
Yeah.
That's pretty young. Yeah. When I was probably like 10, my mom rented The Big Lebowski for us to watch together. And I come from like a fairly conservative Christian family, and she did not know what we were getting ourselves into. But for whatever reason, we watched the whole movie. I don't know why she never deterred. And then me and my dad went and saw Wolf of Wall Street together, and that was a mistake. We did not make it through that. I mean, I was an adult, but we did not make it through that entire movie.
You laughed?
We did. It was quite
Oh,
uncomfortable.
he's with his dad. Come on, man.
Yeah, me and my dad have gone to a lot of movies together. We've only left 2. We left Wolf of Wall Street and we left Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. No, maybe we didn't leave that one, but we watched them very close together. And there's a scene where she forcibly
She starts kicking him.
Yeah,
It's great.
that scene. I think my dad goes, "Oh my goodness."
I walked in. I was visiting my parents, and I was like, my mom was in the back room watching a movie. So I walk in on like the big screen. This girl kicking. I'm like, "Oh, you're watching some like action movie, cool." And then obviously you see what it is. I'm like, "Well, what are you watching? What are you watching here?"
And it wasn't even Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, right?
No, it was.
All right, well, let's go to.
Are we gonna draw?
Oh, are we draw? Oh, drawn for next month. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're gonna do?
Sorry,
And
I thought-
what is the date that this is?
So
gonna-
what we know, the group rewinds are always the last Thursday of the month. So this movie, whatever we draw today, which is today's the 31st show for the 31st, it will be the 28th of February.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you
28th of February.
and the
That's correct.
listeners?
Is there only 28 days in February this year? Or
Yeah. Leap Day
Oh.
was last year.
Okay. So who wants to do the honors?
I'll hold it and Chris can draw.
Shake
How
it
about
up.
that? Ooh, yeah. Shake it up. Shake it up. Oh, I'm gonna play. Let's shake it up. Shake it up. Chris, draw it up, baby. It's probably going to be like new movie in theaters now after all that.
Why'd I even shake it if you're just going to do that?
I'm just so there's no cheating.
Chris likes to shake it.
All right, here we go.
What are we watching, baby?
The Killer.
The Killer.
Oh, cool.
Who put that?
Is that the
Was that one of mine?
What's her face? Ashton Kutcher?
No,
movie?
it is a 1989 crime drama starring John Woo, the director John Woo, and
he stars in it.
No, it's Chow Yun-fat when he was really young.
Oh,
and so it was 1990, and I think they remade it. Let me see. I remember they remade it to something.
You put it back in there?
I did put it back.
Oh man, why
gosh,
would you do
we're gonna watch
that?
The Killer.
All right, well, we know we won't watch The Killer if you draw it again. We won't watch it.
Yeah, they made a remake of it, and then.
So is this the original or the remake?
This is the original.
Chow Yun?
Yeah. So I'm really excited. It's a movie that I wanted to always see because it inspired a lot of action. Like,
is it a what is it called?
It's an
When they
action crime
fight?
drama.
Okay.
Yeah. So a disillusioned assassin accepts his one last hit in hopes of using his earnings to restore vision to a singer he accidentally blinded, only to be double crossed by his boss. The
This is
killer.
in English?
No, this is in Japanese
Oh.
or Chinese. Chinese, I think.
Oh. What do they call it when what are those Chow Yun-fat movies where they like fly and fight karate and stuff? What do they call those?
Crouching Tiger.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah, but it doesn't have a name for that kind of
It's
movie.
like
It's not like that.
Shinjo or something.
That wasn't what I was thinking of, but okay, fine. So this is not Shinjo?
No.
Okay, but it is subtitled.
So.
All right, everybody, have fun.
And where can we watch it?
Well, I'm going to buy it.
Well, I'm not. So where can I watch
Can
it?
we not buy it?
Well,
can we rent
I
it?
was gonna buy it, and I can just share it with y'all.
Okay, that'll work.
So
Okay, you're buying a disc?
yeah, multi-format, Blu-ray or.
All right, well, you give me the Blu-ray, Chris the digital download, and you can keep the DVD.
I don't know how to use a digital download.
I'm just kidding. We could go watch it at the theater one night. Can we do that?
I don't believe so.
Plead the fifth. Okay, never mind. Hey, wink, wink.
I also chose this movie because it was produced by the Weinstein Company.
Oh,
So very excited.
Yeah.
When they're in their prime.
Very good.
yeah. They're at the peak of their power.
Very
right
good.
now.
Very good.
Peak of their power. All right, well, let's go to break. When we come back, we're going to do our Oscar preview. We're going to talk a little bit about the Oscar nominations that have come out because that's just like right around the corner. And then we're going to do our Oscar ballot contest where the golden dude is on the line. So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.